Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. Today we are doing security and Sillyville. I know that's a strange departure from what we usually do, but hey, when Putin gets back to his own country and our news cycle gets back to normal, maybe we'll get back to the normal news. As it is for now, we're going to cover some security news, and then we will also look at Sillyville. So first and foremost, for any of you gamers out there, there is some Valorant cheats that are running around being promoted on YouTube of all places that carry the Redline malware. This is a pretty nasty Trojan. You get in there and you are like, hey, got to find this. And then you use the... you use this individual application you get, and what it's going to do is it's going to drop in a vulnerability, which is going to be able to watch literally everything that you do. It's going to take screen caps. It's going to take your, where is it? Let's see. Disable the antivirus software. Use elevated privileges in order to allow a smooth operation of those cheats. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Anytime some software from the internet tells you to disable your antivirus and use elevated privileges, you should be aware. It's probably a malware. So Redline is widely deployed. Info stealers out there. Once installed, it will explore a wide range of sensitive data, passwords, credit card information, browser cookies, bookmarks, browser history, cryptocurrency wallets, account credentials for things like Steam, Discord, and more. Stolen information gets packaged as a zip file and shuttled to a Discord server. Way to go, Discord. Ban my server at switchedtolinux, where we talk about Linux stuff, and you let the malware guys go. Congratulations, you fools. Well, let's jump on over to our next article. Crypto ROM Bitcoin swindlers continue to target vulnerable iPhone and Android users. So it was difficult to get malicious apps on iPhones, but it is still possible through the iOS Test Flight application. So Test Flight is used for testing out, beta testing iOS apps before they go through the Apple approval. And what these guys are doing is utilizing malicious websites. They're encouraging you to download Test Flight, and then once you have that done, sideload their amazing new app. And whatever that app happens to be, it's a crypto miner that's going to get installed onto your phone. And of course, this is a way for them to distribute other forms of malware as well. There is another way that they are getting some malware on, and that is by utilizing the browser shortcuts. So using web clips on iOS, which will allow you to put a small, like a containerized website onto your desktop. What they were doing is they were basically creating a shell around a known website, promoting that. You install, the fake Robinhood, which is really Robin Hand, which I guess looks very much like the Robinhood site. And then you think you're interacting with Robinhood, but really Robin Hand is extracting a whole lot of money and doing some other malicious things. You can very clearly see what's going on here. Not legit, guys, not legit. So Android, of course, is a little bit easier to do things with that. And but regardless, just be aware of these types of things. Well, researchers discovered a critical vulnerability in APC smart UPS devices. Okay, I have no earthly idea why your backup power supplies need to be on the internet. I mean, really. What's it going to do? Notify you if your power goes out? Well, what if that took out your router too? If your power goes out, it's likely that your internet went out, even if your modem is on your UPS. So this stupid UPS, you connect it up to your house, you put it on your amazing smart network, and you can be like, I got my smartphone here, and I'm going to manage my UPS from my smartphone over the internet. And apparently it was buggy because some people were able to get in there and start messing around and basically take control over any insecure device that was on your entire network and encrypt your devices and do all sorts of other crap, demonstrating once again why we do not need smart crap that has no business being on the internet. Okay? You can, by the way, FYI, as we will see in our upcoming Cody series, you can manage, if you really want to be able to manage this thing with a stupid phone app, you can manage it with a phone app that requires you and the UPS to be on the same device. You can have it be connected to your Wi-Fi And the app connected to your Wi-Fi, and you can manage it when you're in your home network. But when you're out of your home network, you can't manage the UPS. I know that's rocket science for some people, but if that's beyond your comprehension to be able to understand, maybe you should not have a device that's plugged into the internet at all. Because this demonstrates one more time how foolish it is to connect things to the internet that do not need to be on the internet. On our last article for security researchers, last week we talked about the dirty pipe Linux vulnerability. Well, Samsung and Pixel phones were dirty piped. Why? Well, because they're like, we are using an amazing new Linux kernel that hasn't been patched for dirty pipe. And so this is specifically the Samsung S22 and the Pixel 6 Pro. Both uses a Linux kernel within the vulnerable range of these devices, and thus are susceptible to the vulnerability. So this security researcher developed an app which actively and successfully executed the dirty pipe to gain full root privileges on these two phones. Now, the good news is this is not something you do over the internet. You have to have some local access. The bad news is for an Android device is an app is able to do that access. And so if you automate that, you can send a signal back to the originator and they can root the thing out and figure it out. Hopefully they will be able to patch the Linux version, the Linux kernel version, to get rid of this vulnerability. But in the meantime, if you have a Pixel 6 Pro and a Samsung S22, the best things you can do is do not sideload any app unless you absolutely 100% completely know what you're doing, and don't install anything from Google Play Store unless it's absolutely something with a long known track history. Don't be like, hey, that looks like a fun new brand new game that's got 6 other people using it, let's download this, because it could very well be the app that does this type of stuff. Now, this guy, of course, has not released the source code for his super app, so people will still have to figure it out, but this is something that's fairly easy to execute on real hardware, and now we have it on 2 phones. Now, that was actually one of the concerns I had. I spent quite a bit of time researching, is my new Razr 2 phone, when we upgrade the Lineage version, going to be susceptible to dirty pipe? It turns out, no, the kernel version is still too old on Android 11, which is what I'm currently running. Well, with that, we can jump on over to our affiliate spot today. Today, I'm highlighting A2 Hosting. If you are in need of web hosting, have a look at A2 Hosting. Very simple website hosting for any variety of basic website functionality or running email servers or anything like that. You can start at $2.99 a month on up from there. They have dedicated servers. Don't buy Managed WordPress. That is one of the offerings they have over here. Just to right of that spaceship, Managed WordPress is bad news. Don't ever buy that, no matter what hosting company it's from. It's been a big thing lately, but don't ever buy it. Manage it all yourself. But anyway, everything else that they have is excellent. Have a look over them, tlm.li/A2H, to give them a test. Now, guys, let's head to Sillyville. First up in Sillyville, a walking CPU was captured. This man was caught by the Chinese customs trying to carry 160 Intel CPUs that were strapped to his body. I don't even know how you do that. So literally, this is everything the guy had attached to his body. Like, you know they make you go through metal detectors, right? Do these not go off in metal detectors? I don't know. But anyway, he had as many as 160 processors, mainly Intel 11th generation, 12th generation Gen Core CPUs. The walking CPU or CPU man tried to evade customs by not declaring any products that were attached to his body. However, his abnormal walking postures caught his attention. It had nothing to do with walking through an x-ray machine. It had entirely to do with how he walked. Well, if you didn't shove 1 or 2 of them up your rectum, you might not have walked that way, kind sir. So here he was on the screen. He doesn't even look fat for carrying that many CPUs. But anyway, just guys, don't try and steal 160 CPUs through Chinese customs. They'll likely gulag you for that. I mean, they'll be stripping out your kidneys there and selling them to the highest bidder. Well, we have a couple NFT articles. The first one is that the original Winamp skin is now selling as an NFT. That's right, babies. That's right. NFT says proceeds will go to charity. I mean, I got news for it. What's gonna, like, is anything gonna, I really got to know this. Is anything going to happen to me because I have a Windows 98 VM, and on that VM I have Winamp installed, and I believe I have this original Winamp skin. Does that make me violating this in some term? I mean, I've had that for 20 years. You can't tell me it's illegal now. But apparently, yeah, it is, Winamp is selling it. So are we going to start seeing sales of every Winamp skin as an NFT? I don't know. Am I still going to be able to select it on that one Linux, media player that you can put Winamp skins on? I mean, I have questions about this, and they're important questions because it deals with Winamp, and Winamp was a thing of my young adulthood. And I just got to know. I have to know these answers to these Winamp questions. Well, further NFT news. Apparently this NFT of a rock was, for some unknown and ungodly and reason to demonstrate the stupidity of mankind, was valued at $1 million. I don't know how a picture of a rock values at $1 million. Looks like a lump of coal to me. Looks like something you get when you're being bad to Santa Claus. So he accidentally sold it for less than a cent. By listing it with the wrong cryptocurrency, and a bot quickly jumped on top of it. And then, of course, he begged the bot for the thing back, and he's like, nope. So I'm not sure if he's visiting Vimeo at the Golden Gate Bridge or not, but he accidentally sold his NFT for $1 million net loss. Although how an image of a rock can be worth $1 million, I must just be a boomer because I don't get it, yo. This is why this NFT business, this is a fad, guys. This is going to collapse on itself. I wouldn't be the one caught holding the empty pixels when the EMP goes off. That's for sure. But if you can explain to me what in the world's going on here, please let me know in the comments down below. And on to our feature story here at Sillyville. Microsoft was apparently testing ads in the Windows 11 File Explorer. Now, I was swung by Best Buy today to pick up something, and I went over to the we were trying to see what the spec was on one of the computers, and I tried to pull up the task manager. You can no longer right-click on the taskbar and pull up the task manager on Windows 11. Windows 11 sucks. It was pretty bad, and I just cannot imagine now we're going to start seeing ads for this. Now, of course, this showed up in the developer edition, and then they quickly backtrack and go, well, this wasn't meant for anybody in the public to see. This is like trying to unsend the email that you sent with, bad, illegal, or damning material. Well, it was accidentally sent. We don't know how. I don't know how you accidentally draft an email, accidentally send it out to everybody, and accidentally wait until somebody complains about it. But that's what happens. So basically, look at this. Write with confidence across documents, emails, and web with the advantage of suggestions from Microsoft Editor. Oh, is that the new woke editor? Is that what they're calling the new Microsoft Editor? Is that the thing that's like, oh, you can't say mailman, it's got to say mail person? Here's another example. Here, notifications. Offer suggestions, how I set up my device. Get tips. So basically, they kind of said, oh, this wasn't supposed to be there. That was an accident. No, we're not planning on doing that. But of course they are. They just weren't ready for the public outcry yet. So they did what they wanted to do, the public outcry, and then they backtracked. What else is new? Well, you can help support the channel over on Patreon, patreon.com/TOMM. You can jump on over there. That will help support each of the different channels. With that being said, folks, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM. or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.